My dad and I talked about it, talked about everything. Um, like I said in the last video at the beginning, that I tried talking to my dad about it in some certain points, but he was dealing with stuff of his own and losing his parents, and talking to him was really difficult for anybody at that time, really. So obviously, hearing about my issues I didn't feel that it really mattered. Um, but what I'm telling you guys is that suicidal thoughts or depression is not curable. Um, I deal with depression. I've said that. Um, it's not a joyous thing to deal with. Um, um, you got to look to the people that are in your life to help you through stuff like that. Um, that are actually going to physically be there and emotionally be there. Um, so, you know, as time went on, I graduated. Um, I met a few people at a certain camp that I worked at, not Camp Gilmore, but Camp Redwood Glen. I met a few people that changed my life, and that is why I'm out here in California right now. It's because of one of them, actually two of them. But I'm, you know, Melissa. Yeah. Anyways, the thing about depression is that it comes back. It plays with you because uh, uh, you you are entitled into taking care of yourself. You are your you are your own enemy. You know what I mean? You are your worst enemy. If you tell yourself, um, you know, the whole thing about the pain that I was dealing with and not talking to anybody else about it, holding it in was making it worse for me. And so that's why I was physically harming myself. That's why I was starving myself. That's why I was um, not wanting to be around people, um, and essentially just killing myself slowly. Um, but another time where I thought about not suicide but depression was well, that's not true. I was having some suicidal thoughts about um, when I first moved out here, um, and I was excited. I was looking forward to moving out here, to being with my girlfriend, who we've been, you know, friends for a long time, and we've talked about it. And but this is my first time moving out in general. Um, I've been living with my family for 27 years, and you know, finally took up the courage to leave. And of course, I didn't want to stay in Minnesota because of losing my dad. It just was too much of a reminder, and it made me miss him more. And I knew my mom was planning on leaving to live with Kelsey, with my sister in Colorado. And so, and I had plans, and my heart was set here and is set here. But moving out here at the end of April, I was in and out of hotels for the first 2 months, um, which was really tough, because all I wanted to do was obviously find that job. And I had a job in line when I moved out here, but it didn't set out, or it didn't seem like the promised I was promised, or that I didn't get what I was promised. Sorry. Um, So I was back at it again. I was in and out of hotels, looking for more work, wanting to spend time with, my girlfriend and her family. And at that time, her family didn't were still kind of adjusting to me being out here, so I couldn't go to the house too much. Um, I didn't get to see Melissa quite a bit for the first week or so. Um, so that was really hard in itself too. Um, but what really brought me down, and I've mentioned a little bit about this, but um, um, I was in a vehicle accident. I was in a car accident 2 days after I arrived here. Um, it was a bad situation. I uh, I backed up my car in a parking lot, small parking lot. It's a restaurant. Um, I backed my car up. I stopped because I noticed two cars were coming in parking the parking lot thing um, to find a space. So I was waiting for them to come in so I could leave. So my car was stopped in kind of the middle of the drive thing, but um, the other cars were going in a different direction. So I was still waiting for them to go. But then a car from across the way backed into me and took my right tail light out and smashed my right bumper. So I pulled my car into the parking spot, went to go address the situation, and the other car that hit me looked like she was leaving. Um, and so, stupid me, I decided to leave too. Um, but soon after found out that she was following me. Called the cops on me. Um, I was arrested for a hit and run. Um, I was in jail for 45 minutes to an hour. Um, it definitely wasn't the welcoming that I was expecting. But I noticed that Melissa was scared of me for the first couple of days after that. For a good week or so, she didn't hang out with me, and I think she was scared to be in a car, and I don't blame her. Even though it wasn't technically my fault, um, it was still tough. And I thought her parents and her family were gonna. Well, I didn't think they were gonna even let me stay anymore. I thought they were gonna make me go. Um, so at the time of dealing with that and the court date that I had to go to, I was essentially dealing with all that on my own. Um, yes, I have family out here. I have uncles, and I have some cousins that live out here further out. But um, being in a hotel by yourself is not the best way of dealing something like that. You want to be with your family. You want to be with the people that care about you. And at the time, it just didn't happen. Melissa was scared of me, and so I was uh, getting suicidal thoughts again. Um, I was thinking about going home. I was thinking about harming myself again. I was in that hotel for, I would say, the full month of May. And then I was talking to my other uncle about this, and he said, "Why don't you work at a camp?" And he worked at Camp Gilmore for 9 years, and so my dad did as well. Um, I said, "I got to try to make things work, and I got to apologize to the family." Um, $2,000 to fix my car. I had to save some money to the side just in case if I had to pay the fine. But I worked at this camp, and it made sense. It helped me out a lot, um, bettering me spiritually, but also giving me a little bit more time to look around for more work and um, another place to live. But then camp ended. I was still without a place. Um, I was surprised that her family allowed me to stay here, uh, and they said that I could stay with them at their house. Um, so I'm still here, but I'm still struggling today with making ends meet, and I know we all deal with that. So I'm not the only one, but um, what's sad is just essentially um, I am dealing with all this stuff on my own, even though they're here. Um, and that's what sucks. That's what sucks is trying to be strong when really your mind is telling you you're not. So that's what I mean about depression and these suicidal thoughts. They play with you. It's like a game, like voices in your head. Um, sorry, I don't want to sound like a crazy person. Don't call. Uh, and after losing my dad, I probably wasn't. I don't. I've I held a lot in too at that time. Again, my dad and I, we had a special bond. So did my mom and I. I love my family, but my dad and I really established a good bond between one another. We would throw the football around. We would just shoot hoops. We would just hang out. Um, Losing him um, shortly after his birthday was really tough. At 55, um, so I could have turned back to suicidal thoughts. Um, I I was just trying to be strong for my mom. Um, when I drove when I drove from Colorado to California, made the move. I drove by myself, um, and that was sad too. I wish I had somebody with me, but um, essentially it was good too. I needed some space on my own. I wanted to see the world in my own way, so I drove. It was fun, scary too at times. That's another vlog sometime that I'll do later on. But anyways, the moral of this story, guys, is you are in charge of your life. Like I've said in the other vlog the other night, good versus evil. You are in charge of yourself. You are in charge of the outcome in your life. If you want something done, you gotta do it yourself. You gotta be strong. You gotta keep your head up. You gotta never give up. I said that too. Um, all these videos I've done go with this. Um, but the moral of this story, the moral of this vlog is the fact that I'm still here despite all of the stuff that I've gone through and all the stuff that I'm still dealing with. Suicide is still happening today. People are killing themselves every single day because either they don't seek help, they don't know how to, or they try, but people don't see it. So the reason I'm doing this vlog is so we can help, so we can show and show care, and so we can prevent stuff like this.